FlyMediaTV.
Hello, I'm a photographer. My name is Noah, and I'm the owner of Photos by Dollar, and you're watching What's the Word on Fly Media TV. I'm from Houston. I was born in Humble. That's where I went to most of high school. I did most of that stuff there, and then I moved down to here to Pearland. I've been here the past three. Yeah, it's been 3 summers, and then I go to college at Lamar. That's where I spend most of the time during the year. And then I come back to Houston for some photo shoots with her family for breaks. It's just all depends. I look a lot older, but I feel like it's the beard. I feel like it's the beard. When I found out, like most Toppies, it was a girl. She was really into photography. I was trying to impress her. The girl faded quick. That didn't work out too well. But it kind of picked up from there. It's something where I had free time, I just kept with it and kept with it, and then here I am now. I started, that was 2016. Yeah, I graduated in 2016. I got my camera that year. I guess professionally would be the first time I got paid. So it was about May that year. And then it was weird because at the beginning when I felt like I wasn't very good, I got like a few jobs. And up till recently, I haven't gotten much jobs at all. It was like one senior photo shoot, and because I was advertising on Facebook Marketplace, I put all my pictures there. I advertised on like a book exchange for Lamar, and then because I started growing out my network, making connections, and then from that I got more jobs. Like I was at the bookstore, and they were um, like a one something, like they had like a giveaway or something, and I was like, hey, do you mind putting my Instagram on there for outreach? And then she was like, yeah, I don't mind. Do you mind dropping us some business cards? Because we get a lot of people asking for photographers here. So I'm like, yeah, sure. Give her a bunch of business cards, and then while I was back here, I already got a hit off that. And it's just a weird experience to for all that to start to pay off. You have moods where you like things and you don't like things. So, for example, right now I'm really into like trees and plants and stuff. So it's just like artistic mood where that's something that I like doing a lot. Um, my normal way I take photos is I take 8 photos or 10 photos and then I merge them together afterwards in Photoshop, and it creates this really high depth looking beautiful image. I've been doing that for about, I want to say 6 months now. So if you like, it's a change in my photos. It's a way of cheating because I can't afford the professional cameras that I want yet. Because the cheapest one that I want is $800, and the most expensive one I want, just of that model camera, is $2,500. Plus you got to get new lenses, and each lens is $400, $300. And then there's an even more expensive one that I want, but that's $35,000, and that's as much as a Mercedes, and that's a lot for a camera. But it does a lot of things. It's something that you can see really great detail and stuff that only people that really love photography care about. But still, it's expensive, and photography is not really cheap because you got to get the equipment, even without getting all to the technical aspects. It's just a really expensive hobby or career because you got to get enough money. First, you have to have the creative process, and that's a lot of man hours of 3 years for me of work, and I did a lot of work, and I progressed a lot faster than a lot of people have. It's because I'm hungry to be successful. It's the one thing. I just keep working and working and working and working and working and working and working on it. Like this weekend, I took a shoot Thursday night. Yeah, because today's Friday. Thursday night. No, Wednesday night. Today's Friday, and that was about a 2-hour shoot. And I've been working on that last night when I got back. So from like 8 to like 2 when I got up this morning, 12 to when I got here at this meeting at 4. I've been working on all of that time, and I'm not done with that same shoot. Because I still have at least 2 hours of work I got to put into it. And then I got to upload it online and then send it off to the client. And that's still like a lot of work. Mainly for my campaigns and my projects, I do a few different categories. So first, it's whatever stuff that I envision that I want to create. So, for example, it's was I had this idea of putting flowers in people's hair. This is something that I think would be kind of cool. You have the vibrant colors of flowers. I tried to shoot in only portrait mode because my go-to is landscape mode because that's how a lot of people see TVs and that's how the camera is easier to hold and everything. The good thing about portrait mode is it shows up better on Instagram or on your phone because you're looking at your phone, you're holding it kind of like this, so it looks better on the screen. So that's something I try to challenge myself with because I don't think like that. And it's a different process whenever you turn the camera because you think different ways. The next thing I do is promotional stuff. So for example, a company would send me a hat, shirt, glasses, shoes, phone cases, anything like that. And then my job as a photographer is to highlight that. So normally it's just in change for whatever the product is, I get to keep and they get the photos. So we're both happy. We both highlight off our services, highlight off what we're good at. Next would be paid photos. So it's either event photography, portrait photography, which I specialize in, senior pictures, product photography. I think there's something else. I can't think of it right now. Those are the main things that I do for money. So people will pay me to either make them look good, and make their company look good, make their event look good, or their product look good.
Weddings, birthdays.
Yeah, it's just like birthdays, weddings as well. So different social events that they want to be capturized and get good publicity on. Because like let's say you have a good picture for your Facebook event, a party or anything like that, then people will see it the next year and be like, oh, that was fun. That looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to go do that and I'm going to be there. So that's something else that I kind of focus on to help highlight those things. I do graphic design some, so like I can make menus, I can make book covers, I can make album art, I can make promotional flyers and stuff. Anything that needs to be made. I have a pretty good basic on that. It's just colors and design and all of that. I also I think that's it. For now. We'll make it to the Super Bowl this year. We gotta win the Super Bowl this year. We got Watt, Clowney, Merciless. And I was a fan of Hopkins his first year he was in there. I know it was like, I hate like being a Texans fan and then having like a Watt jersey or like a Hopkins jersey before, or like, you know, now because they're the name of the franchise. Because I feel like you don't really like love the team as much.
Yeah.
I mean that may be just me. I feel it probably is just me. But I feel like I hate that everyone like had the same player. But I was a fan of Hopkins after he had that catch at the Giants, that one-handed catch that didn't count. It should have counted because it was just a holding penalty. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
But that was a really good catch. It was little, I think, what was his name? Do you remember he had the socks on Hard Knocks? And that was his, Hard Knocks made the player, I feel. It just, I'm not saying that it wasn't his skills, it was just, that's where he got his start off of.
Yeah.
He was a fan favorite, and then from there. Charles James?
I think that's who.
Yeah. He said it was the Odell catch before the Odell catch was there. Because that catch was really great, but he didn't get a lot of attention for it because it didn't count. He also makes so many great catches. Actually, I have a signed ball from Hopkins from training camp. The training camp one year. And it was right when he had that contract holdout where he just one day holdout. Because I was mad because it was like, oh, that means, like, I like the player, but I was mad because I was like, oh no, I won't get his signature at camp. And then he came back on and he came out and he signed everybody's football all the way around until people started throwing shit at him, which I feel was really disrespectful. But he went out, like, you know, he caught the shit too because he knew he has magic hands. But anyway, it got to the point where it was disrespectful to the player. I also have an Eddie Pleasant ball because, like, I've always liked Eddie Pleasant. He's not signed by the team, by the way. You didn't know that. His contract ended this year. But I wasn't happy about. I'm also like soccer, Dynamo fan, and Barcelona fan. I used to play soccer a lot. I don't play that much anymore. You know, time, life, job, family, all those passions or all those things you got to keep up with when you have less and less time. some social issues because, like the kneeling situation, the Black Lives Matter situation. So first with the kneeling situation. I feel like you should always have the right to say what you have to say. No one should try to limit you. No one should try to silence your voice. I try to keep that in mind when I hear opinions that I completely disagree with. I feel that they should always at least get the time of day to say their opinion. With the kneeling thing, I feel that's been grossly pushed out of proportion, where a lot of people have portrayed it as an anti-American thing, which it's not. If you looked up the background with why Kaepernick chose to kneel instead of something else, I think it was because at the very first game he didn't kneel. It was something else. It was either standing with his fist up or sitting down or something of the nature. I think it was sitting down. But he talked to one of the veterans for the team. It was a war vet, and he said that the kneeling was more important, or kneeling would be a better way to get his message across because it was something similar that they did in the military, where it was kneeling to honor a fallen soldier or kneeling for something of that nature. Again, I don't remember. I'm sure if I can find an article for him to put in the description thingies right there. But that's what he chose. And then with Donald Trump and with other political figures, they pushed it grossly out of proportion. They pushed it as a different narrative, and it became a huge misunderstanding. Like recently, the NFL introduced a new policy, what they called a compromise, which I feel it was people who didn't understand the situation creating a compromise, where it was these owners that don't understand why people are kneeling. There's like it was kneeling for police justice, how they didn't do things right. And the whole protest is not saying all police officers are bad, like Black Lives Matter. It's not saying that Black Lives Matter more. It's saying Black Lives Matter too. It's saying with the police thing, it's saying not all cops are bad. There's plenty of instances where they're good people. Like if you saw the one recently where it was a recent scandal, how this woman claimed that when she was pulled over, she was raped by the police officer. Did you see that?
I didn't see it.
It was a recent thing where this woman was claimed that she was raped by a police officer, sexually assaulted, and all of this stuff. And one of the journalists went up to bat for her, like put his whole career saying that he believed her and everything. And then the body cam footage showed that all that was a lie. And I feel like stuff like that discredits like the whole point of the movement of saying that all police officers are bad. It's just saying like a bad case. Also, I was trying to wrap up with something else. Like I said, it's just a huge misunderstanding. I think that's something that I feel that people are more comfortable talking about. I know it's a hard topic because I come from a background where I've had some old white conservative Republicans in my family where they're like, oh, back in my day this wasn't a thing, so why should it be acceptable now? And I feel that it's just something that's more to talk. That's more of a talk. And before Trump got elected, I feel we were getting to a point where things were more friendly. Like we're getting to a point with our generation where it was kind of like, oh, where no one has a problem with racism as much, because it was more of everyone kept their thoughts to themselves. It's like I've heard people like talk about these issues and they're like they don't say it in front of other people. And I feel worst case scenario, I'd rather you be racist at home and not racist in public, because there's a difference. It's where you feel like you have the right to tell someone to go back to Mexico because they look Hispanic, even though they're from here. Or you tell someone you're sketchy about certain people just because of the color of their skin, where that shouldn't matter. But back to what we were saying, I just feel like the main thing that's important is just to talk to people and not be afraid to confront people and just keep an open mind, because I'm not saying like keep an open mind to everything, but I'm saying that you have to be to want someone to change, you have to be comfortable with the fact that your ideas may be wrong. Like you want them to be comfortable with their ideas being wrong. For me, I feel it's okay to go in with an open mind. And also, whenever you start to get angry, you got to step back and calm down before you continue the discussion. Because when you yell at someone, you're not expressing that your opinion is more right. You're just expressing that you're louder and angrier than the other person. And you don't get a lot accomplished in that argument. It's more of, hey, I'm more angry. It's kind of like with war. It's not, hey, I'm right. It's, hey, I have more guns. Or, hey, I can kill you. So I survived, so therefore I'm more right than you are. And I just feel like in the whole of that idea, it's just, you just have to be willing to talk to people and keep a level head, even though some people might say stuff. Like there was two videos recently, if you've seen This Is America by Donald Glover, and after that there was just a video called I'm Not Racist. I don't know if you've seen that video or
I
not.
seen that.
And at first I was like, what is this going? Where is this video going? But I stuck through it because I felt like you should hear them out, and it had a very powerful message throughout the whole video. Again, I don't know if he wants to link these down below or how that's going to work. If not, you just got to look up just watch This Is America, and it's probably hit there. The next thing I want to talk about was like, if you've seen like with Kanye with his him and Trump are Dragon Energy. And I've recently gotten into rap. I want to say my sophomore year of high school. It was something I listened to Eminem. I didn't want to say that I listened to rap and only listen to Eminem, because that's not a fair thing to say. It's like cutting the top of the genre. It's just like getting a little bit. So I got someone to introduce it to me. But back to my point, with Kanye's recent tweets, he's talking about him and Trump are Dragon Energy. And with this whole thing of tweets recently, was explained to me as Kanye's just trying to get everyone not to hate the guy, even though he's a god-awful person. He's just trying to make sure everyone doesn't hate each other, because whenever you go into a conversation with hate, like I said before, you're not going to get a lot done. Is Photos by Dollar. You can book me on there on my website. You can message me on Instagram, say what you want to do when you want to do it. Also, like I said on my website, on my portfolio, if you hit the button on my website, it's the link on my Instagram. Then you hit the button in the top right, and there's a thing that says book me. You just fill out that information, I'll come talk to you or contact you. And we could have a meeting before if you want to talk about it in person. We can text on Instagram to book me. My rates are $200, and you get a 3-hour photo shoot. If you like a fancy USB drive, it's a $50 extra, and there's a $50 deposit for the photo shoot. Like I said, if you want to contact me, the best way is on Instagram. I have you can message me, DM me, or if you want to work together, I've done lots of work with brands, like I talked about earlier, lots of fashion brands, lots of stuff like that. I've worked with some artists. You just got to message me and we'll get something together and figure it out.